like I haven't seen you in a month. But it's been almost like a month, though. It really is. Like this November, think about it. Like, so I had my little fiasco, and then we had Thanksgiving weekend, and then we had a fire.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I literally haven't seen you. Like, is what I'm trying to get at. So I feel a little bad about the fact that we're taking a couple finals right now, but it's what it is. What's that? I usually give you an extra day of practice is what I'm trying to get at. You guys aren't missing it. But you know what I mean, because you're so good.
You got it.
You guys are so good. I'm not worried about anything. Oh, you decided to show up today. Thanks.
You know
okay,
what?
great. Yeah. Okay, great.
Ran.
I ran. I forgot my knife kit. It's fun.
Okay, so we're gonna try and basically go over what I would generally do in a couple of days. So I'm gonna show you how I want to cook eggs, and I'm gonna let you practice on those eggs for about an hour. Okay, then when we get to a point, I'm gonna start to give times. I'm gonna say, are you all okay with practicing with your eggs? And then I'm gonna give you a time. That time you're gonna give me that egg. So it is now 9 o'clock. You're gonna practice at say 9:30. The first time will be at like 9:40, and then it'll be in 5-minute increments from there. So you'll be, 9:40, you'll be 9:45, 9:50 on. So that's the time you're presenting the egg to me. That's the time you start cooking your egg. Okay, that's the time you present the egg the way I showed you how to cook it. Give me that egg at that time, and I'm gonna taste it. Okay, and I'm gonna look at a couple of different things that I grade that upon. So your egg, I'm basically be looking at your curd development, your seasoning on it, and your pan control. Those are the 3 things I'm looking at. So pan control is basically temperature. If you brown it up, is what I'm gonna be looking at for that. Seasoning, if you don't put seasoning in it, I'm gonna dock it. I have to taste all your eggs, people. Season them for me, please. Okay, all right, when I get to like the 30th one, I don't care as much. Okay, all right, please season them. Okay, is what I'm doing. And the last thing is curd development, and that's basically how we're gonna cook it. We're gonna spread it out to an omelet. I'm gonna ask you to cook this egg very specifically my way. Okay, and then the other thing is gonna be knife cuts. I'm gonna do knife cuts onto a plate. You have the whole class to do knife cuts. So I'm gonna put knife cuts that I want you to replicate on my little plate right here. This plate can wander around the kitchen. Try not to take the knife cuts after, because when I start grading them, I need to look at it. Right? You guys understand that? We use the knife cuts on the plate, what I'm trying to get at. Take the plate around, and then just whenever you want to, bring your knife cuts on a plate to me and set them up here with your sheet, and I'll grade them when I get a chance. I'm always gonna grade an egg if it comes to it, right? So I'm always gonna grade the egg first. Okay, but that being said, in between, I have no problem grading vegetables. Okay, last thing I want to do is basically a review for the written final next week. So there's going to be a written final next week that has a couple questions on it. Do you want to do that now? Or do you want to? Let's do that now. You guys take notes right now on it, because when you're done, if you show me knife cuts and you show me an egg, you can leave. So I don't want you to have to wait till the end of the class. Is what I'm trying to get at. So let's just go over and do the review right now. So I don't care if you record me. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to give you this final. I'm going to hand it to you. Other than that, this is the final. Just come back and we're going to take these questions. You know how you doing, brother? Good. You want to take notes for this right now? I'm going to give you the written final for next week. So you either film me right now as I do it, or take good notes. It's literally my final. That's all I'm saying. Good morning, by the way, too. You look like you're not quite ready. It's good. Don't worry about it. At least this class is in at 7 a.m. When I started teaching it, they had it at 7 a.m. I'm all, that's ridiculous. You guys don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. There's nobody who wants to be here at 7 a.m. Okay. First question, I want you to be able to name me the 5 mother sauces and tell me how each of them is thickened. So what are the 5 mother sauces? Tomato veloute.
Espanol.
Hollandaise. Espanol. Bechamel. Okay. How are the majority of them tightened?
Roux.
How do they get thick? Roux. How is a hollandaise tightened? What's it called? Like, emulsion is the word I'm looking for. It's an emulsion. Okay, so emulsion on that. And the tomato is tightened by its own solids, and that process is called a coulis, actually. Concassé is when we're chopping those little tomatoes down, making them into taking the skin off and the seeds off. That's a concassé. If we blended a concassé, it'd be a coulis. Alright. So, Tricia tomato sauce was tightened with roux. No one's putting flour and butter in tomato sauces anymore. It's usually just the vegetable solids. They do it through reduction and then blending. Very similar to how we did it when we made the lasagna. Okay. Everyone, any questions on that question? Moving forward. Okay, so ratio from Mirepoix, give me the percentage in the vegetables. 50, 25, 25, right? 50, 25, 25. What's 50?
Onions.
Thank you, Kelly. What's the difference between a julienne and a brunoise? They're two knife cuts. I say them all the time. You guys should know these. I'll let you guys do a little research on it. Oh yeah, look, it's up there.
Is it one?
It's right there.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between them? Look at it.
Matchstick is the julienne and the brunoise is the kind of square.
Small little dice. Got it. One's a matchstick, one's a dice. I'm not trying to trick you. Okay, but I do want you to know it. Okay, that's it. Okay. What temperature does water boil at in America? 212. Absolutely. Was it freeze at? Well, they use a much more sensible system called Celsius. Like we use, 100, like 0. It just makes a little more sense to me. That's all. But we are sticking to our little unit of measurement. We're stubborn.
Actually, they're teaching kids metric system now.
I mean, all my baking recipes are metric. Like anything that I have to do that has to be precise is metric. Like so I don't know. Like it's kind of funny. That being said, it's what it is. So we're gonna go with it. 212, 32. No done. Okay, in cooking, moisture is the enemy of what? I say it all the time too.
What do you say?
Caramelization.
In cooking, moisture is the enemy of.
Caramelization.
Okay, browning, caramelization, call it whatever you want. Yep, that's exactly it. Okay, and if it sticks in a kitchen, why'd it stick?
Pan's not hot enough.
Wasn't hot enough. Or the grill or whatever you're using, it wasn't hot enough. It sticks, it wasn't hot enough. Okay. Tell me a joke I can tell my kids. That's literally, that's one of the questions. If you guys get this one wrong, I'm sorry. Okay, let me put it this way. Tell me a joke that won't get me fired.
Okay.
Thank you kindly. Yeah, you. Okay, I'm talking to you.
I might not get that one right.
You should be able to get some joke that won't get me sacked. There should be one out there. Like go knock knock. You can dig deeper. Okay, what is the range of the temperature danger zone and what does it mean to food handlers?
130.
41 to 135.
That's pretty much. I'm a simple guy. Like I'm 40 to 140, just way easier. But like in the book, they're gonna talk about like 41 to 138. Like they're gonna talk about different. And by the way, since I've been teaching in the past 16 years, that temperature range has changed 3 times.
Really?
But it's always like 40 to 140. It's always changing by like 1 degree. Okay, so my point is you guys need to know 40 to 140. What does that mean to us as cooks? What is the temperature danger zone? Like explain it.
When bacteria.
are gonna grow.
Ideal bacterial breeding ground. Ideal bacteria, where they're at their happiest. Okay, and that's why you want to try and get food through those processes. Because a lot of times food have moisture, a lot of times food have basically protein or sugar, which are both energy for those bacteria. Food. All right. You're gonna need to give me a couple of dry heat and combination cooking methods. So, like, what's an example of a dry heat cooking method? No, that's a cooking medium. I'm with you on it. Let's keep going. You're close. Let's keep going. What oil is used in dry heat cooking methods? Not water. Right? So you're there. No. Saute. Perfect. Okay, grill, broil. Okay, any fry. Okay, anything that has color in the cooking process is a dry heat cooking method. The absence of color denotes a moist heat cooking method. Right? So what are some moist heat cooking methods? Boil, not deep fry. Not deep frying, right? Because there's color on it. Like, all right, hopefully, you did it right. Unless you're in and out, you can't cook french fries.
Do you consider braising as a combination then?
Yes, braising and stewing are the 2 combinations. So let's just continue back to moist for a second. It's simmering and boiling, poaching. That's what it is. Okay, moist heat cooking techniques. It's simmering, boiling, poaching. That's what it is. Okay, and then the combination of the 2 is exactly that. Combination cooking method where you're going to sear something, give it color, you're going to cook it in moisture and give it tenderness. Right? That's combination cooking. The ones that we know are basically braise and stew. Okay, braise and stew. Okay. Food is broadly made up of 5 things. What are those 5 things? Food, as we know it, is made up of 5 things. There's absolutes when heat hits them that I talk about all the time. I call it the language of food. You hear me say it all the time. So when you apply heat to water, what happens? It evaporates. Water is one of the elements I'm discussing that food is made out of. What else is there?
Fat.
Fat. What's an absolute that happens to fat when you apply heat to it?
Coag.
Melts, actually. Your coagulate's one of them. We're going to get there. Okay, the fat melts. Definition of a fat, as opposed to an oil, is solid at room temp. So you apply heat to a fat, it melts. That's one of the absolutes every single time. Okay, one of the absolutes. Okay, what else? Oh, we got, let's do proteins, because that's on coagulation. Proteins coagulate, different range of temperatures in them. Proteins coagulate. Best example is an egg, like we're cooking today. Okay, so the book says an irreversible transformation from a liquid or a semi-liquid state to a solid state. That's the definition of coagulation. So an egg, when you crack it, is wet, right? And when you cook it, it's solid, right? Once it's solid, can you get it to go back to wet? Okay, so that's coagulation, irreversible transformation. It's all over in food. Done this on chicken, that little bit of white stuff that comes out when you're cooking salmon. All protein gets coagulated, is what I'm trying to do. Okay, starch to gelatinize. Okay, done this in bread and thickness in sauces. We use it all the time. Starches swell, absorb the liquid, and make it thicker. Okay, starch to gelatinize is the term, gelatinization. And sugars do what?
Caramelize.
Caramelize, right? Moisture is the enemy of exactly that. Did I forget one? Water, sugar,
No, you didn't.
starches. Did I get them all?
Yeah, sugar, starch,
Proteins, waters, fat, starches, sugar, all done. Okay, any questions on that? You guys all got it?
Yep.
We're done. Okay, now let's cook an egg. Okay, so for the next hour or whatever, how long you're practicing, you guys can do as many eggs as you want. I recommend doing like 8. Okay, I do it numerous times until you get comfortable on it. I take enough times on it, we're gonna waste the eggs, and that's the way it goes. Okay? I don't know how else to show this to you, but I'm trying to get it. So you're gonna waste a couple eggs during this process, and that's just part of the deal. It can. Okay, so if I ask this room right now how to scramble an egg, I'm willing to bet I'm gonna get, like, if I asked every single one of you, like 3 or 4 different ways of doing it. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different ways to scramble an egg. Kind of skinny, kind of conversation on it, whatever. I want you to cook an egg the way I'm showing you right now, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're gonna scramble an egg. We're gonna do what's called small curd development. It's also known as a French style omelet. And the steps that you take are pretty important to it. Okay? What do you put in your eggs? You want to make them a little bit lighter and fluffier.
Milk.
I hear milk. I've heard
Heavy
cream. I've heard water. Which one's gonna work best? Which one's gonna do the food science on it? What's that? Both you and Rikio talk to your classmates and get the written final. Because I gave you guys the written final for next week, but I'm not going to redo it right now. So talk to your classmates and get these information. It'll make it easier for you. Or don't. But I'm recommending. Okay. Good morning, sir. How are you? Other than late. Got a joke you can tell my kids? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good.
Will it get him fired? Okay, good.
Okay, so I've heard different things. Heavy cream, people put cream cheese in it, buttermilk, regular milk. Some people will say, oh, it has to be like whole milk. Other people say it's skim milk. Let's talk about the food science on it, exactly what you're trying to do. Okay, as that protein coagulates, the water is going to be evaporated. That water evaporating, if you catch it in the coagulation, is what makes an egg light and fluffy. Okay, does that make sense? So the protein's coagulating, and if you trap some of that air inside it while it's souffleing, okay, you have a light and fluffy egg. Okay, if you add a bunch of fat to it, it's going to actually lubricate those layers and let air escape. Okay, so heavy cream actually is not the best thing to put it into. Milk would be better because you're down to like 2 or 4% fat. Okay, but the best thing you can put in is water because all you want is that evaporation. The science aspect of it is just a little bit of water and then enriching it with cream cheese or something at the end of it after you're cooking. For the food science and the cooking, that's what we're doing today, and we're doing next week. Water is your best call, is what I'm trying to get at. Completely whisk your eggs all the way together. Okay, if you don't whisk them together, you're going to basically have what I call white chocolate chips in them. So there's little bits of egg white. It basically doesn't mix with the yolk, and we just want to avoid that. So whisk your egg completely, add a little bit of water, season it with salt and pepper. Same steps every single time. Okay, you don't need to froth it. Okay, that's a misconception I think for making light fluffy eggs. People put them in like a KitchenAid and will blend them for like 20 minutes until they get like almost like whipped cream. Those bubbles all pop as soon as you apply heat to them. Like they don't maintain, they don't hold. So it's better to trap that air during the cooking process if you can. choice. Okay, you want to choose a pan that isn't bigger than what you want to do. If I'm trying to cook the egg in that pan right there, it's going to spread out. It's going to be a crepe. Okay, so you want to take a look at what you're doing. Like the ideal size would actually be this one. I'm only doing 2 eggs. Does that make sense? But there's only one of those pans. And there's multiples of these. Second on pan choice. Okay, I like to use a nice non-stick, and I like to use a non-stick that is not beaten up and used. Could you hold one of those non-sticks over there? Just look on the inside of it, outside. There it is. Okay, so I look at those pans when you get a chance. They're all scraped. They all basically have a bunch of paint coming off. This non-stick coating is actually painted onto these bottoms of the pans. So as these pans get abused, basically metal scrubbers or metal utensils or different things along these lines, they scrape off the bottom of them and that paint flakes up. It's supposedly food safe, everything's good about it, but it's just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird is a deal on it. So I use these pans until they're good and then try not to use them as much. More importantly, that non-stick is really going to help you in this cooking process. Okay? So I would choose my pan very, very carefully before doing the eggs. When I give you the time frames here in a little bit, you're going to have basically 5 minutes to present the egg. So only 3 pans are going to be in use for the kitchen at that point. Maybe like 1 person cooking, 1 person on deck, 1 person back on deck. Right? So there's enough pans in the kitchen when we're doing our test. So as we're practicing, you guys are going to have to share a little bit when we're doing the test. Whoever's cooking eggs gets the pans. You don't get to hold on to it until you do it. We're good on that? Okay.
If we're practicing and we like that one that's good, can you just show it to me?
Yeah.
Before our time.
Yeah, but it doesn't count. You can show it to me and I'll say that's good. Like, absolutely. But no, like, you need to show me on that time. Yep. Sorry, there it is. And I want it hot when you show it to me at that time too. It's not, oh, I made it perfect when I'm gonna sit for a half hour and then give chef cold eggs. Cold eggs. Okay, move forward. A cold omelet. Everyone wants a cold omelet. Okay, make sure your pan is hot. Medium-low heat is the temperature you're looking for. You don't want flames looking around the outside edges. You do want your pan to be hot so it doesn't stick. You don't want it to be so hot that you're actually leathering up or caramelizing your eggs. Okay, brown eggs taste like sulfur. There's a flavor profile to them. You want to avoid that. Okay, proper tool for the job. I'm going to use a small spatula. I'd recommend going next door and getting small spatulas, especially with these small pans. They just work better. Okay, the larger spatulas will work. You can do the job, but this is more efficient. It's the proper tool for the job. I'd get this size spatula. Oh, get a high heat one regardless. Okay, red hair or black hair, period. Don't use white hair.
Wait, I'm sorry, you said medium low heat or high heat? Is that what you have?
No, I said get your pan hot and then adjust to medium low.
Okay.
Is what I did say. I'm sorry if I wasn't
No,
there.
no.
Okay. Or at least that's what I tried to say. Medium low is when you want to be cooking it, right about there, nice and happy. You want to put a little bit of fat in the bottom of the pan. Clarified butter would work. Whole butter I don't like to use as much because you run the risk of browning it. We're getting tested right now on not browning it, so I wouldn't use whole butter. I'd use an oil or a clarified butter at that time. I like to cook the bottom of the pan and pour off any excess. Okay, what you want to do is basically break these curds up. So as this protein coagulates, they're going to develop, well, solids. Okay, we want to break those up as they develop. So just keep breaking them. Don't let them develop into a large lump. Break them up into small little pieces. Got to keep them separated. Okay, once you get about 70% of the water weight evaporated off of it or cooked, you want to do what's called spread it or paint it through. So you want to paint it across the bottom. You'd still have moisture present in the egg when you do this. If you don't have moisture present in the egg, it won't turn into one unified piece. It's going to basically, it's that irreversible transformation of proteins. You can't push already cooked curds into each other. But if there's moisture present, you can. Okay, so I painted out across. You will notice that there's moisture present, but it's not soupy. See the difference? There's moisture present, but it's not soupy. That's exactly what I want. This one I'm going to set the bottom of it, hopefully not brown it up. We got a couple couple little white chocolate chips in there. Didn't whisk it good enough. I'm gonna get my glasses on. Okay, once the bottom sets, it should sear and release. Okay, you use proper pan. I like to use gravity for it at this point. So basically just roll it. So looking for a light. Couple mistakes right here. That's what happens when you try and push curds together that are already coagulated. See right there? So those curds were already coagulated. I was talking too much, honestly. You guys, talking too much. And that, I tried to push two things that were already cooked together so they didn't come together as well. Other than that, no, it's okay. I could have whisked it a little bit more. Other than that, it's pretty nice. It's a moist egg that still has tenderness to it, but it's not drooling. You ever understand the term drooling? Okay, it's not like so wet that I don't want to deal with it. Okay, so it is cooked all the way through. It's a nice egg, and that's what I want to do. Just try and do that again. Okay. Okay, these pans, I'm a big fan of just wiping. They need to go to the dish sink. Be very careful cleaning with the green scrubber and try not to rub any of the bottom off. Okay? When we store them at the end of class, I like all these pans back and a little bit of paper between them, just like that. Otherwise, they end up like that. That's more for like cast iron. It can shatter. These pans will warp if they're smoking hot on in the water. Any pan will. It's like buckle. But cast iron, if it buckles, it can actually it's so brittle, it'll actually snap. So cast irons, you want to be very careful with it hot in the cold water. I wouldn't use this pan. Use the other ones. Just the bottom of it. They're just little grip tapey ones. So that's the size I want, but that's the bottom. Nice and smooth. Set yourself up for success. Okay? It's like a teaspoon of water. You don't need a lot. If you put too much water in, it takes forever to get your egg solid. Any water you put in there, you're gonna have to evaporate off of it. If you add too much, you're just my egg's never cooking. I'd say teaspoon or under. And you can do it without water, right?
Oh, when'd you get it colored?
Trying to find a vein.
What?
What are you doing over there, brother? You're making me nervous. And that pan could probably be a little hotter, right? I didn't hear any snap, crackle, pop. But to be perfectly honest, it's better, especially if you're using a nonstick, to be colder than hotter. Okay, it is. You just have, it's like this pan is your friend. It's gonna make it really easy to do your job. Like, Jacques Pepin, it takes like 10 minutes to cook an egg. He's super slow, low on it. He thinks that it makes the softest, best egg. This is it. Well, you're doing knife cuts too. But this is the only cooking thing that you're showing. And no cheese in it, nothing in it, just the egg. I'm trying to get you to cook an egg. I'm gonna miss those jackhammers. Anyone going anywhere to cool over the break? Okay, 70% of my water's gone. I'm going to go ahead and paint it. any good trips other than Australia? I'm very excited about that.
Thailand.
You want Thailand?
That's so cool.
We're going to Austria.
We're going for a diving trip, but we're gonna try and do some stops into the town. So.
So you're gonna do probably the Southern Islands then if you're diving. And it's like there's summer there right now. So it's it's 85, 90 degrees every day. You're going to dream weather too. Like it's their best time of year weather-wise is winter, like our winter.
Yeah.
So you got that going for you, which is nice.
Are you doing anything fun?
I'll go see my mom, and yeah, I'm gonna see. I think I'm gonna go to New Orleans. I'm gonna go to New Orleans for New Year's. I think my wife and I. So we'll decide.
Hey, Chef, you wanna go to Mardi Gras with me?
It's always at a time of year it's hard for me to get away. February is a hard time for me to
It's
get away.
right on my birthday.
Yeah, it's just a hard time for me to get away. Like Mardi Gras is. Jazz Fest is in April, Mardi Gras is in February.
Yeah.
Both of them are just hard for me to like. I have so many days off, it's hard for me to take extra ones off.
I get you.
Like, teaching schedule. So there it is. Is my mentality on it.
So once you do that, how long would you cook it for? How many minutes would you
Till
say?
it's done.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't really know why I asked that.
Okay, that makes sense.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. After I did, yeah. I set
And it's
myself
totally
up for it.
dependent upon the temperature you're cooking at. You do it at a higher temperature, you can do it in 90 seconds. You do it at a lower temperature, it could take you 6. So I can't give you a time. It really depends on the temperature you're cooking. And this one I did a little too cold as I was talking to them. You guys see it? So my problem here, it's stuck. Why did it stick?
It's not hot.
Too cold. Or just sit hot. Right? The pan got too cold as I was sitting there. I was doing my little, oh, you can do it slow if you want to. And, unfortunately, my pan got a little cold in that process. But I'm a genius, so I can fix it.
She's like a little too rough.
That's
It's actually not bad, considering it was looking really bad for a couple seconds. Okay, so I don't need to show you how not to do it, right? Don't whisk it too much, cook it too hot, let it sit too slow. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do wrong. You just gotta kind of practice on them, right? I don't need to go through showing you how to not cook an egg, right? You guys just need to practice on how to cook an egg, right? Cook some eggs. Take it out.